Hello, everyone, and welcome all of you to Unacademy, a place where you can crack your toughest of examinations with the help of top educators, quality content, and not to forget the great learning experience. So join me in cracking your 9th and 10th examinations with Unacademy, where you can access unlimited live and recorded videos from India's best educators. Before I continue, let me introduce myself. I am Tasneem Ahmed and I have completed my Master's and MPhil in English. I have also been certified in TESOL. I have trained 1,000 plus students and I have 8 years of teaching experience. Therefore, you can be rest assured that you are in good hands. Well, before I continue, let me tell you today's topic, which is going to be modals. Like can, could, may, shall, used to, have to, and many more. I'm going to take you through each and every model that we have, and I'm going to give you a little insight about these models and how they function and what or how you are supposed to use in your statements or in your examinations. But before I proceed, let me tell you what you will get with Unacademy. Well, for starters, you have daily live classes where you can chat with your educator, engage in discussions, ask your doubts, and answer polls, all while the class is going on. Number 2, you have live tests and quizzes to evaluate your preparation. Number 3, you have structured courses. And number 4, you have unlimited access. One subscription gets you access to all our live and recorded courses to watch from the comfort of any of your device. All you have to do is buy one of the subscriptions and get the access to free live classes and prepare with top educators and also get the comprehensive syllabus of mathematics, social science, Hindi, science, and also English. You can also talk to us on Telegram application. You have to download the Telegram application, type the link in the URL, and click on join. And the next thing that you have to do is to install the Unacademy learning application on one of your devices. The last step is to buy any one of these subscriptions that Unacademy has to offer. Well, Unacademy offers 6 months subscription, 12 months subscription, 24 months subscription, 36 and 48 months subscription. As you go higher with the time limit, the discount also increases. Well, for 6 months, you have 33% off discount. And as you go higher, for 12 months, you get 50% off discount. And for 24 months, you have 58% off discount. And for 36 months, you have 60%. And for 48 months, you have 67% off discount on all these courses. But besides this available discount, you have extra 10% of discount if you type the code TA01 while you proceed to pay. That is, along with the available discount, that is, you have, if you type the code TA01, you get additional 10% of discount. Now, let us say, supposing if you were to buy the course of 12 months, then you get the 50% discount, certainly, and then you go ahead and you type the code TA01 and you get additional 10% of discount on the available course, which means you will be able to avail this course for on 60% off discount, and you will be paying only 1,125 for a month. So if you are a 9th grader, a 10th grader, 11th and 12th grader, do not wait any further. Go ahead, buy the subscription for 12 months and do not forget to type the code TA01 and get that extra 10% of discount and avail the opportunity of preparing at home on any one of your devices. Well, you can access live courses and recorded courses anytime at your convenience. Well, do not wait for anything. Now just go ahead and buy the subscription and remember to type the code TA01 when you proceed to pay. So now let us move on towards today's topic, which is modals. Now the very first question is, what are modal verbs? They are modal verbs. And what are they? Well, modals are auxiliaries. If you have watched my previous videos, I have explained you in detail what are auxiliaries, what are helping verbs, what are main verbs. If you do not know the explanation to these verbs, please go back, watch that video, and come back and watch this. And let us move to modals. Modals are auxiliaries. Auxiliaries are helping verbs. Modals are considered as auxiliaries which are used with main verbs in a sentence. Hence, they are called as modal auxiliaries. Like, for example, if you say, I can swim. Now here can is your modal. Or if you say, I shall come. Or I could go. Now these are your modals which are used with your main verbs. And because these modal verbs help the main verbs, they are called as modal auxiliaries. Remember, auxiliaries are nothing but helping verbs. They help the main verbs in the sentences, like is, are, was, were. All these are your helping verbs, and similarly, these modals are also function just like these auxiliaries, and that is why we call them as modal auxiliaries. Moving on, how do they function? How do modals function in a statement? Well, modals express the attitude of the speaker. They just don't combine, or they just don't connect the sentence with main verbs, but they also express the attitude of the speaker. They express ability, they express suggestion, possibility, necessity, permission, obligation, suggestion, and advice. Let me take you through each one of these models now. Well, there are two types of models, like pure models, and then you call them as, the other ones are semi-modals. Pure modals are like can, could, shall, should, may, might, will, would, must. Semi-modals are able to, have to, used to, ought to, need to, had better. Semi-modals are like, they're not complete models, but then they do function exactly like models. That is why they are called as semi-modals. So these are the two types of models that we have. Let me take you through these models one by one. Number one, before I proceed with the models, let me tell you how they function or how they are structured in a statement, and a little more about the models. Supposing if we say Emily can run a marathon, where have we used the position of modal? The position of modal is soon after the subject, soon after the subject. Yeah, sorry about that. My pen is actually troubling a little. Just a moment. Yeah. So like I was saying, can is your modal, and it is used soon after the subject, and then you combine it with the main verb. So therefore, you do not have to worry about the subject and verb agreement over here. Now, Emily is a third person. Now, supposing if I change the subject into I or you, or let's say he or she, or into a plural subject like they. Now, the model is not affected by the change of the subject. Like if I say, I can run a marathon. You can run a marathon. He can run a marathon. She can run a marathon. They can run a marathon. So this is, the models are not affected by subject and verb agreement. Subject and verb concord. Subject and verb agreement is also referred to as subject and verb concord. So you do not have to worry about these rules being applied over here because they do not conform to these rules. They remain intact all through. And then they do not depend upon other auxiliaries like the main verbs depend. Well, in fact, these main verbs are used with the modals. You can see this is a modal, and this is the main verb, and this is actually called as bare infinitive. This is called as bare infinitive, and modals are always used with bare infinitives. Number 3, they do not have the other forms like the way we have with the main verbs. Like, supposing if you take the example of run, if you say run, you convert run into runs, and then you make it as running, and then you put the past tense, and then you have the past participle as well. That doesn't happen with the modal. Can, cannot be, cans, or canning, or there's no, well, there is a past tense, of course, but then there is no past participle. So this is not possible with modals. They form their negative by taking the negative word not. Well, certainly, to make the negative, you actually put the negative like Emily cannot. Or you can combine this and make it as can't. Emily can't run a marathon, or Emily cannot run a marathon. That's how you convert these modals into negative. Now let us proceed to the next part. That is, modal verbs do not have all the tenses. Certainly, yes, they cannot be used in all the tenses that we use with main verbs. But they have just the present and the future like this. She can play football, and to convert that into future tense, you can say she will be able to play football in future. Instead of can, you are switching to will be able to, which says about future. So she will be able to play football in future. So you can replace the word can into able to speak about future. Similarly, you should come early. So this is about the present tense, and when you are trying to say that for past tense, when you convert that into past tense, or when you had to say that in past tense, you could say like this: you should have come early yesterday. So this is how you can use the modals in past tense. It's the same case with other modals as well. You will have to use other possibilities to put that into other verbs, like should. You have used over here as should come, but here you have used should have come. You have used other verbs, the help of other verbs, to make it into future or in past tense. So the next is the usage of can and could to express the ability. Well, can and could, they both express the ability. Can is present tense and could is the past tense. Now, when you say I can swim for 4 hours, you are talking about today, what you were able to do right now, at the moment, or in the present scenario. I can swim for 4 hours. So this is your ability. This is what you are capable of. And when you say I could swim for 4 hours when I was younger, this you are speaking about your past ability. As in, when you were younger, you were able to do something. That is how you speak about past tense. And when you say that in past tense, I could swim for 4 hours when I was younger is how you say. So like I told you, can is present, whereas could is past tense of can. You can also use can, could, and may equally for asking permissions, like can I leave now? Or may I leave now? Or could I leave now? Now, this doesn't specify about the time. This is just you speaking at the moment. So this refers to present tense, even if you say can or may or could. All these three usages refer to present tense. But when you say may and could, that is, when you say may I leave now or could I leave now, you are being polite and you are being formal. You are being polite and you are being formal. But when you say can I, you're not being impolite, but then it is kind of like more like being informal, in informal usage, like as in when you're talking to your friends or somebody you are very close to. You do not really have to worry about being formal with those people. So in that particular scenario, you can definitely go ahead and use, can I leave now? Sorry about that. Can I leave now? But when you say may I leave now or could I leave now, it is specifically used in formal situations and to be very polite and considerate towards somebody. All these three expressions mean one and the same, asking for permission. All right? Now let us move on to a few other usages of the word could. Like I told you earlier, could is the past tense of can. And as just like the word can speaks about the ability, could also speaks about the ability, but it speaks about the past ability. It speaks about what you could, what you were able to do in your past. Like I gave you this example earlier. I could swim for 4 hours when I was younger, speaking about your past ability, which you are not able to do anymore. In your past, you could swim. Instead of could, you can also use able to. I was able to swim when I was younger. So now you're not able to, but earlier you were pretty much able to. So instead of could, you can also use able to. You can use could in negative by adding the word not, like this. I couldn't talk to him yesterday. So over here, I have combined could and not, and I have made it as one word, contracted as like this, couldn't. I couldn't talk to him yesterday. I wasn't able to talk to him yesterday. Just like I told you here, you can replace could not with was not able to as well. Both meaning the same, but referring in past tense in negative forms. Could can be used in present tense as well, even though could is the past tense of can. You can also use that in present tense as well, like this. I could call her, but I don't want to. So this is speaking about something that you are going to be doing a little while later in future. So this is pretty much referring to present and future. I could call her, but then I don't want to. I'm not going to. I could go with her. It's more like, you are kind of not sure about whether you want to go or you don't want to go. It's more like an attitude of, I guess I could go with her. Okay, fine, all right, I could go with her. So it's more like that attitude, and you do use could in that situation. Not confident, and when you are using it in present tense. So these are the usages of could. Now let us move on to the difference between did not and could not. Well, when you say, I saw him, but I didn't speak to him. I saw him yesterday, assuming there is a scenario you went to, let us say, a party, and there you saw somebody, let's say your friend, and you saw your friend and you did not speak to him. And here, when you are saying you did not, that is, I did not or I didn't. Didn't is the combination of did not. When it is put together, it becomes didn't. So I didn't speak to him. Here you are talking about your will or your intention. You are trying to say that I could have, it was possible for me to go and speak to him, but then I chose not to do that. So here you were not willing to speak to him. So that's what it means when you say did not speak to him. But supposing when you say like this, I saw him yesterday, but I couldn't speak to him. Remember, I told you can and could. They speak about ability, right? So because they speak about ability, when we say I saw him yesterday, but I couldn't speak to him, is because I definitely was willing to and I wanted to, but then I couldn't speak to him because there were so many people in between, and he was busy and I was busy with some work, and I couldn't actually make it happen. I really wanted to, but I couldn't. That's what it means. Similarly, I didn't attend the party because I did not want to. I wasn't willing. I had no intention of, I could if I wanted to, but then I did not. Similarly, when you say I couldn't attend the party, here you mean to say that I wanted to, I was willing, but then I had other work to finish and I had no time. That is why I couldn't attend the party. So that's the difference between did and could. Now let us move on to the next one, next model, which is may and might. May and might both are used to express, ask permission and also express possibility. Supposing when you say, may I come in? Definitely you are asking for permission. And when you say, it may rain now, you are only talking about the possibility of raining. You're not sure, but you are trying to say that maybe it will rain in a while. Probably it is cloudy, maybe it is thundering. So based on those factors, you are expressing a possibility of something happening, which is raining. Therefore, you say it may rain now. But when you use might, you actually show less confidence or less possibility. Supposing when I say, might I come in? You're definitely asking for permission, but then the confidence in your voice or the confidence in your language is not as much as you have when you say, may I come in? And similarly, when you say, it might rain tomorrow. Now, here, the difference between may and might could be, let me give you, supposing if you say may. If I take the example, it may rain now. I am 75% sure that it may rain now. And when I say it might rain, I am only 50% sure that it might rain. So you can see the difference. May has the greater amount of confidence, whereas might has lesser amount. That's the difference between may and might. Might is used with less confidence, and when you are speaking about certain things which you're not too much confident, as much as may. May and might, they both speak about future possibility, not about certain things, but possibility. But then may speaks more of it, whereas might speaks a little less comparing to may. Well, might is the past tense of may. Therefore, it can also be used in past tense. When you say, I might have said yes, but I can't make the the apostrophe is missing there. So I might have said yes, but I can't make it today. So let us say there's a situation where your friend invites you and she wants you to come home for a party or something, and then you actually say no and you send her away, and then you are discussing this with your friend, and your friend asks you, why did you say no? And then you express this, you say this to your friend, stating, I might have said yes, but I can't make it today because I am busy and I am held up somewhere. Therefore, I said no to her. So this is referring to past tense. I might have said yes, but I can't make it today. Similarly, she might have forgotten. Let us say there's another scenario and you were expecting your friend to come home and she hasn't arrived, and it is past the time. She probably promised you that she would arrive at 4 o'clock, and she hasn't arrived yet. It's already late, and you are saying this, discussing this with your friend like this, stating she might have forgotten. That is the reason she is late or she hasn't come. So might can also be used in past tense. The next one is shall, and shall is used to make an offer or suggestion. Shall we drive back to the hotel? It's a suggestion. Two friends are staying at the hotel and they are not sure how to go back. So they are in a conversation, and there one of you, let us say you, suggest this thing to your friend like this. Shall we drive back to the hotel or shall we take a bus? So this is a suggestion that you are making. Another scenario is when you say, shall I drop you somewhere? So here you are offering something, offering help. And here, supposing if you say, shall I drop you somewhere? Here, if you want me to, I shall. Else, I won't. I don't have any desire to go drop you, but then if you want me to, I certainly will. Therefore, you use shall. Shall I drop you somewhere? It's not my intention. I'm not offering, but then if you want, I will definitely do it. And supposing if you say, can I call you tomorrow? Over here, when you use the word can I call you tomorrow, it means that I want to call you, allow me to call you. Here, you want to do it, you are willing. So when you say shall, you're not actually willing, but then only if you want, I am very much happy to offer the help. But when you say can, supposing instead of shall, if you were to use can, it means that I want to drop you, please allow me to do that. But if you say shall, then when you say, shall I drop you somewhere, you mean that I don't want to, but then if you want me to, I shall definitely do it. And when you say can, it means that you are trying to, you want to, and you are asking the person to let you do that. Can I call you tomorrow? I want to call you, please let me do that. That's the meaning of can, and that's the difference between shall and can. Shall is also used in place of will. Well, we do not use it like this anymore, but then there is also, this usage is also pretty prominent, like I will go now. Instead of will, you can use shall, like I shall go now, with the same meaning. You will attend the party, or you shall attend the party. Both mean one and the same, referring to the future with the replacement with the meaning of will and shall. But shall is a little archaic, not used anymore, but then if you go ahead and use it, it's not going to be incorrect. You can definitely use it. I will go now, I shall go now. Both mean one and the same. The next one is should. Should offers or expresses suggestion or advice or speaks about necessity. When it gives advice, you say or you express, or the usage is, you should never lie. This is certainly an advice. We all should follow the rules. Advice, of course. You should not have been rude to him. Definitely an advice. Shouldn't is the combination of should and not put together. Shouldn't. So you shouldn't have been rude to him. So this is advice, giving advice. So you use should while giving advice. Then when you are giving suggestions, like you should talk to him. I suggest you talk to him. We should not think too much about it. I suggest we should not think too much about it. So these are suggestions. And when you are expressing the necessity, like, why should I sign this? What is the need of signing over here? Why should I sign this? Why should I leave now? Why can't I leave later? Why should I leave now? What is the need for it? So here you are expressing necessity. So should is used to express advice, suggestions, and necessity. Moving forward, we have will. Will is the usage of future tense, and we use this in future tense. Like, I will come tomorrow. I will talk to her soon. Talking about future events. There is a difference between will and can. Like, for example, if I say, I will come to the party. And if I say I can come to the party, there is a huge difference. Remember, like I told you earlier, can speaks about ability, right? It speaks about ability. So when you say I will come to the party, it means that I have the intention of coming. And when you say I can come to the party, it means that I have the ability to come to the party, but I might choose otherwise as well. Supposing if I say I can come to the party, but then I will not, means that I do not, I can, I have nobody stopping. I have no one asking me not to. I can very well come, but then I choose not to. So here, will speaks about your intention and can speaks about your ability. I will not attend the party, although I can. I can't attend the party, although I want to. When you say I can, That means that you want to. Well, you want to, but then you've got some other work and you are held up and you cannot do it. So can speaks about your ability, will speaks about your intention. Remember the difference and use it appropriately. Moving on, we have the usage of would, which is the past tense of will. Would expresses imagination or hypothetical situations. Hypothetical as in, of course, imaginary situations. Like, I would never think of hurting her like that. You have watched something, or you've seen somebody hurting somebody, and you are now expressing, you are imagining a situation, and you are expressing, you are saying that I would never think of hurting her like that, like the way somebody has done to somebody else. So it is a hypothetical situation or something that you are imagining in your head. She would never risk her career. Again, she would never risk, again, speaking about some imaginary situation or hypothetical situation. They would not give us that discount even if we asked for it. So you haven't done this actually, but then you were presuming already, you were imagining in your head that even if you would ask for it, they wouldn't give you the discount. Wouldn't is the combination of the contraction of would not. Wouldn't. So wouldn't can also be. There's something, okay, let me give you a tip. When you use the combination, the contracted formations, you use it mostly in your speaking. And when you use it would not, you use it in your writing. So keep this in your mind. Would not. The split formations are used in writing and contracted forms are used in speaking. So they would not give us that discount even if we ask for it. So this has not happened. When you say, I would never imagine, or she would never risk her career, or they would not give us that discount. All these things have not happened, but then you are only presuming or you are only imagining these situations in your head and expressing your thoughts. And then would is the past tense of will. Just like I told you a little while ago, would is the past tense of will. And when we use that in past tense, this is how we use it. They knew he would never hurt her. So they knew, definitely speaking about the past tense over here, they knew he would never hurt her. I never imagined she would do something like that. That means she has already done something. Already something bad has happened, and here I am expressing my opinion as I never imagined she would do something like that. That is in past. She did say he would come. So she did say, let us say your friend has arrived and you probably were assuming or presuming that he wouldn't come, and now he has arrived, and then you were expressing your opinion based on those factors, like she did say he would come, didn't she? Now he has come. Again, referring to past tense. So this is the usage of would. Moving forward, we have must, and must speaks about obligation and necessity. And when you use it in necessity, let us see how you use it. You must improve your English. So this is the need of the hour because you all are in your school and you must improve your English. It is a necessity. You mustn't waste any more time. You have already wasted a lot of time, therefore, and losing any more time is going to implicate very badly. Therefore, you must not, or you mustn't waste any more time. You must talk to her right now. Necessity. It's the need of the hour. Otherwise, things could go worse. Therefore, go. You must talk to her right now to resolve your issue. So, speaking about the necessity. And next, you also speak about obligations, like you must respect everyone. Definitely an obligation, right? So, you must have faith in God. True. You must have faith in God. Obligation. You must sign here. So, you have a form, and the obligation is to you must sign here. That is in some place necessary. So must is used to express obligation and necessity. Moving on, we have Must is used when the obligation is from the speaker, and when the obligation is not from the speaker, then use has to or have to. Let me clarify what that is. When you say, I must improve my English, it means that I myself think that there is something that I lack in my language and I want to improve my English. It's my own idea, it's my own opinion. So, this is my own opinion, not somebody, I'm not saying this because somebody else said, but then I personally believe that I must improve my English. Now, when you say I have to, when you say I have to improve my English, it means that you don't feel anything is wrong with your English. You believe your English is good, but then your teacher thinks that you still have to improve. Your teacher thinks that you still need improvement. Therefore, this is something from somebody else. It's an external implication, not your personal implication, not your personal opinion, but then somebody else's opinion. So when you are specifying somebody else's opinion, you say have to, and when you are expressing your own opinion, you use must. That's a major difference between must and have to. Very slight I mean, like just a change of one word, but then there is a huge difference between the expression. This is really important for you to understand and use it rightly in your examination, especially. Then comes I must talk to her right now. So this is my own idea. I think, it's my opinion. I believe that I must talk to her right now. And when you say I have to talk to her right now, that means that you don't really think you have to talk to her, but then my friend over here is insisting that I have to talk to her right now. It's not my opinion though, but then it's my friend's opinion. Therefore, I have to. Your opinion and your friend's opinion. So here, this is external force and this is from the speaker himself. That is, I is the speaker. And here, I have to means you don't want to do it, but then your friend suggested doing it. That's why you are expressing it. That's it. Similarly, I must reduce my weight. It's my own idea. I feel I have put on my weight. That's why I think I must reduce my weight. I have to reduce my weight because my doctor thinks that I have put on, and to remain healthy, my doctor has advised me that I have to reduce my weight. So that is the difference between must and have to. Remember this and use it correctly in your examinations. Moving on, the next is able to and not able to. When you are expressing temporary ability, you use able to or not able to. As in when you say, I'm able to ride this bike for now, although I'm not sure for how long. So let us say your vehicle is not working, probably it stopped suddenly, and you fixed it somehow, and you called your friend and you're telling him that for now I'm able to ride this bike, but although I'm not sure how long it's going to run, it might stop again. So this is temporary ability. For now, I'm able to. Similarly, I'm not able to follow what you are saying. Could you clarify that again? This means again. In a while, if I clarify that to you once more, you probably will be able to understand better. So for now, the situation is you are not able to. So temporary ability. You use able to and not able to. Next, we have the word need, which expresses obligation or necessity. When you say, I need to consult a doctor immediately, that is, you have the necessity here to consult the doctor. Similarly, he need not call her right away. Similarly, you need not panic. We can solve the issue. You need not answer all the questions. So when you say need not, need not, need not, or need, this speaks about necessity or obligation, as if you have to do it, you have got no other option. But when you say don't have to, there is a difference. Just like I told you a little while ago, the difference between that is the difference between must and have to. Similarly, the difference between need and don't have is pretty much similar. As in, when you say, I need to consult a doctor immediately, this means that it is your own opinion from your personal, this is your opinion. And when you say, supposing if you say, I have to, in case if you say, I have to, here, sorry, I don't have to. That is, I don't have to. No, 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 no. It means that, one second, my pen is kind of troubling me. All right. So when you say, I have to consult a doctor, that means that you don't really feel the need, but then maybe your mother or your sister has asked you to consult. So therefore you say, I have to consult a doctor. That is, the force is coming from the other person, not your opinion. When you say, I need to, it's your own opinion. And when you say have to, it is from the other person. Similarly, when you say, I don't have to, you don't have to panic, they say they can solve the issue. So there is an issue and you are on the verge of panicking. So when you say, you need not panic, we can solve the issue. So here you are pretty much confident that you can solve the issue, and you are comforting your friend by saying, you need not panic, we can solve the issue, relax. And when you say you don't have to panic, they say they can solve the issue. It's not your opinion. You're not confident though, but then you heard it. You heard somebody else saying that. Like, for example, you go to your friend, number one, here you say this to your friend, and your friend goes to another friend, and he says that to another friend. And when he says that, he says it like this. When you say, you are saying you need not panic. And when your friend says that to another friend, he says, you don't have to panic. They say they can solve the issue. So don't have to is from somebody else, and need is from your side. Similarly, you don't have to answer all the questions because it's written over here that you don't have to. There is no need for you to. So don't have to. That's the difference between don't and need. The next one is the usage of used to. Used to conveys the expression of a discontinued habit, as in which you are not doing it anymore, as in you used to do it once upon a time and now you have totally put an end to that particular action. Like, I used to read many books earlier, I don't anymore. Here, when you say I used to. Similarly, when you say she used to be very polite, but now she has become very rude. He used to play tennis earlier, but now he has no time to play. I used to live up north, but now I have moved to south. There used to be less violence, but now there is no kindness. So when you say used to, you use this usage for those actions which you are no longer doing it anymore. Well, if you use the word used to with those actions which you still do, it means you are totally using it in an incorrect situation. So try being careful when you are using used to, because I have heard many students using the word used to, which is totally incorrect, which means totally incorrect. Remember, the usage of used to is for those expressions which you do not do anymore, as in you have stopped them for good. Now you have totally stopped them and not continuing at all. That's the meaning of used to. The next one is ought to. Ought to is used to express obligation. Like, you ought to pay attention. You ought to follow the rules. Emily ought to fill the form first. People ought to be kind and empathetic. Now, here this means that it is important you do all these things. These are the obligations, and when you use ought to in your statement, you are expressing an obligation as if you have no other option but to follow. Obligation means it is important you do it. It is important and necessary. So you use ought to. You ought to pay attention. We ought to follow the rules. Emily ought to fill the form first. People ought to be kind and empathetic. So ought to expresses obligation or necessity. Moving on, we have had better, which gives advice. Even though had is past tense, you use it like this in your statement, like, you had better check if she is all right. It is giving advice. Even though you are asking, you're saying this in present tense, you use it like this. It's a modal, it's a semi-modal, in fact, and you use it like this. You had better check if she is all right, or I had better leave now before it rains. You had better not tell her now. You had better get her soon, else you will miss all the get here soon, else you will miss all the fun. So you use had, which is a past auxiliary, in this situation, which expresses a present action like this, which means you are actually giving advice. You, in fact, use it as you'd. You don't say you had, you combine it and you use it like this. You'd better check if she's all right. I'd better leave now before it rains. You'd better not tell her now. You'd better get here soon, else you will miss all the fun. So all these are while you're expressing, or while you are giving advice to somebody to do something. So you can also use, besides shall and should, you can also use had better by combining had with the subject like I'd, you'd, or they had, they. So you can use had better to give advice. Well, that is all for today. Thank you very much for watching. Do leave your comments below. I will be waiting for your comments. And do not forget to subscribe, and do not forget to hit that bell icon. And most importantly, do not forget to type that code TA01 to avail that extra 10% of discount on your subscription while you are buying. So let's crack 9th and 10th examinations with Unacademy. Do join our Telegram group for latest updates on our upcoming videos. Well, until then, thank you very much for watching. See you soon again. Bye-bye.